Hey everyone, welcome back to Control. Last time, we got the hotline, so now we can actually make out what Director Trench is saying to us. And I forgot to actually watch the Dr. Darling presentation on it, so I'll do that at the end of this video.
Hope has asked us to document.
Oh, you've already heard that one. And these two are not saying anything at all. So, it occurred to me that I had missed one more level 1 door in this sector, so I'm going to head back to Pneumatics to check it out. And the fastest way seems to be to go through the hotline chamber. Yeah, I could fast travel there, but fast travel is actually really slow in the PS4 version. Also, I didn't notice this document on the way in. It was there. Yeah, this would have told us what to expect when we pulled the light cord, so I'm actually glad I didn't find it sooner. Anyway, back to the mailroom. This room is almost always full of enemies, which is good, because now I've got these countermeasures that I gotta do. Need to kill a bunch of enemies with my weapon, kill enemies without dying. And I like the little tracker that you get over on the side of the screen to show you how close you are to completing each of the objectives as you go. And it also can serve as a reminder of what things you need to do, although it only appears when you actually do them. So if you've forgotten, typically it's just going to pop up and out of nowhere, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I was doing. That was one of the demolition experts. Oh, hey! My first rocket! That's why I want the power to throw those things back at the enemies. They do a lot of damage, and I don't really have a good way to avoid them at the moment. I think that should be it, but I still hear the music, so I'm getting out of there before any more enemies show up. The kill 50 enemies without dying countermeasure is always kind of tense. I'm still hearing the enemy music way out here. I know there are no enemies around. Okay, crisis over. So in this room, we find a supplement for the Havana incident. Most of the documents about altered items and altered world events will come in a main document and then a supplement. I don't think this one tells us anything we didn't already know. And we get a mod that decreases the amount of energy it takes to launch stuff, which is really good, but I've only got one slot, and right now I think I need the extra health. No thanks, not dealing with these guys right now. I'm just gonna head back to Central Executive. And with that,
brings up a lot of new questions. Are they communicating? Coordinating? What about the plant attracted them?
The power plant is largely confidential. No use guessing the hiss's motives if we don't even know what kind of energy it uses.
What do you mean? It has to be a fusion reactor. There's no other way to create that kind of energy output, right? A lot of these questions could be answered by obtaining a live specimen.
Here? But we don't have the proper facilities.
Maybe we can bring in an observation unit from the containment sector. I'll put in the request with Poe.
you guys done saying interesting things? Alright, moving on.
Time to work. Meet me in the maintenance.
Yeah, so right now the only place that we can get to is this access corridor that Ahti apparently opened for us. So, that's where I'm gonna go.
Like I said before, the janitor is a friendly face. The maintenance sector is the janitor domain. If I can find Ahti here, he can help me reach the override. Maybe it was you who got me into the oldest house with the lockdown on. Maybe it was Ahti. It felt like he made the elevator appear that took me to Trench's office. Is Ahti guiding me too?
All excellent questions that may or may not eventually be answered. Meanwhile, the maintenance sector is full of all kinds of machinery, and I don't know what the purpose of most of it is. And we're starting to see more level 2 doors, but this one we can just ignore. I make my own doors when I can. And we get another review of Unless You. And this one sounds kinda close to home. And I'm really not sure whether that and the previous book report that we saw are even describing the same story. It's hard to tell. And we've got a new type of upgrade material. As far as I can tell, each sector has its own unique upgrade materials that you'll get when you're there. And it doesn't matter what type of enemy you're fighting, it's entirely which sector you're in that determines what upgrade materials you can get. I don't think I could get up there even if I had level 5 clearance. Not that I need it, because again, the room is surrounded by windows. And if we're heading to the janitor's office, there's only one way to go.
The Directorial Override is right there, in the control room. How do we get there?
I don't know how she even knows what she's looking at. Guess it doesn't really matter. Got some more enemies to deal with, but they haven't seen me yet. I guess surprise attacks are a lot more effective if you can aim properly. Ideally, I think you'd try to launch something through 2 enemies at a time, but one's good enough. And debris has a tendency to vibrate rapidly in this game. Like I say, I wish they used those effects more often. We've got a new type of astral construct we can make here. We can actually upgrade our grip and make it better and able to carry more mods, but I need a lot more ritual impulses for that. We can also make spin, which is a whole new type of gun, and I'm way short of materials for that one. Meanwhile, I did complete one of my board countermeasures. Trying to remember which one. Oh yeah, that's right. The one with the big flashing red thingy on it. And I think the next one I want to take on is the melee tactics. Better to deal with enemies with melee early on before we meet anybody that's really strong. If you're not reading them, the descriptions of the various missions from the board are kind of funny sometimes. Anyway, we've got a locked door leading to Blackrock Processing. We can't open that one, so we're heading through ventilation. Little surprised not to see anything interesting in that room. But now I gotta deal with this fight, and I remember it being really tough my first time through. You're just getting swarmed by enemies, and this room's full of staircases and catwalks, so there are lots of ways the enemies can approach you. And also tons of them just spawning in over and over again. Unfortunately, I think they're just guards. A demolition expert would just destroy me here. So let's give Shatter a try. This is the gun that I created at the end of the previous video. The issue with Shatter is that it uses a lot more ammo. And at a distance, I don't know that it's particularly effective, because the shots spread out like a shotgun. Explosions are always good, as long as they're at a safe distance from you. Yeah, I think it probably is a bit stronger than grip, just generally speaking. But I think grip is going to be a lot more accurate in general. And, as always, the launch is going to be the best way to deal with any enemy, I think. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I could shoot through the floor since it's, you know, full of holes. But no. Well, there was a guy way over there. I don't like not knowing where he is. But I think I'm going to have to get closer. Alright. I think the best tactic in this game when you hear shooting is run somewhere. If you're running towards the enemy, kill them. If not, get into cover. Don't worry about trying to figure out where they are. So that's dealt with. I can't do anything about that level 4 door yet. And there's another door at the top of the catwalk here. More of that mold. And it's got those capsules in there. I don't know what they are, but they explode if you shoot them. Doesn't really help us get into the room, it's just kind of neat. So I'll take my time to check this end of the room a bit more carefully. There are lots of little side rooms and loops. That's the staircase that I came down when I was fighting that guy before. I better check under the stairs to make sure there isn't anything. It's the kind of place where they usually hide stuff. Nothing in this one, though. Alright. Moving on, then. Oh, wait a second. There's an item crate over there. How the heck did I miss this? Okay, when I looked this way, I think it was hidden behind that stepladder. Alright, so one more locked door we can't open. That'd be Ahti's office on the other side.
What's down that way?
Ah, flashing lights. That's the direction I want to go. And on the way we see a level 2 door, another side room with nothing much in it, and seizure warning if there's room, by the way. Just a crate, nothing of interest. Alright, well, guess I'll go open it. Seizure warning over. Yeah, we fell through the floor and landed in the astral plane. As you do.
Ugh, this place makes me nauseous. An object of power. How do you think it got down here? A carousel horse. Why is kid stuff always so creepy?
I don't know whether it's possible to continue on from here without getting the horse, but I'm binding it. And suddenly we have the evasion ability. So this is just a really fast dodge with a lot of invulnerability. But it can be tough to time, and it does use energy, so you can't use it too often. They wait until you're in mid-jump to pop up the message telling you that you can evade in air to get more distance. But this is not only useful in combat, but it also allows us to reach places we couldn't otherwise get to. And they give us gold enemies here. We can't fight them. Okay. I stayed on the platform, but now I'm completely out of energy and cannot evade their grenades. Alright, that was sloppy, but I made it.
Let's see the hiss keep up with me now.
So yeah, jumps that previously were unmakeable, we can now just dash over. It'll help us in some spots, and not others. And apparently that was a hidden location, which gives us an additional ability point, plus the 2 that we got for binding the horse. And the chest was just a material. We need a bunch, so why not? And now the room that I skipped earlier. Maybe there's a document somewhere in here that I can find and read and not look at the TV. Alright.
Drawing the pyramid.
The what?
The pyramid.
What's a pyramid?
The Black Pyramid. It's in the astral plane.
Airplane?
Astral plane. It's big, white, and empty. Or is it? It's a weird, crazy alien dimension. The white goes on forever. You can get lost in all that white and never find your way back home.
I miss my home.
You know, for kids! I guess the document I was looking for wasn't in there. And I don't know whether that show was made better or worse for the fact that you can hear Ahti singing the whole time. There's one more side room I can get to before I go talk to Ahti, so definitely checking this out. Alright, time to face the music. Literally.
Well done. You got the job. It's place for congratulations. Yippee, saatana. It happened in the last drop. I truly need an assistant.
Funny thing is, I've been a janitor. I'm more at home in that role than as the director. Only Ahti here seems to see that.
Yeah, hi, Ahti. Look, we need to get the lockdown lifted, otherwise I can't get to the other sectors. Can you help me get to the override?
Yes, easy peasy. It's just around the corner. But first, we need to get you working. Very small, couple of hours job.
Something tells me it's gonna be more than that.
Jaha, you think there's a dog buried in this? I can tell you are not yesterday's Krause's son. That's why you'll make a great assistant. Very well. I'll hit the facts on the table. Mä kyllä sanon perkele suoraan, että this house has a vermin problem. A bad one. They've already messed up the cooling pumps. And the power generators of a power plant, perkele. And the pensioner inside is starting to feel the band around his head tighten. The situation needs to be fixed before the plant blows up. And we all disappear like a fart in Sahara.
Trying my best to keep up with this. Fix the coolant pumps and the power generators, otherwise the power plant will blow.
But don't you worry. I've left you clear instructions. You'll catch the end of the thread before I go to my vacation. The work's on the task board here. You can do later, when you have time.
Vacation? Right.
Yes, no one's gonna cancel my holiday or seat's gonna rattle. But don't worry at all. You'll take care of it and soon this crisis gonna be last winter's snow. You better go now, so you don't have to run with your head as your third leg. The door in the back leads to the plant.
The door in the back. That's great. Thank you, Ahti.
He's still responding to our internal monologue. But he gave us level 2 clearance, so, it's all good. Some sort of inspection report bulletin board. And I do want to check out the task board.
Yep. Burn the trash. Throw it in the fire. Burn it all. Burn it into a reindeer, not into a moose.
I don't know whether the things he's saying make sense as literal translations of Finnish expressions, or if he's just that weird. He's got a lot of fairly unique stuff in here, at least. Dartboard, playing cards all over the table.
Pensioner. Yes. Nordmoor is the director. Started to climb up the walls in his bachelor pad.
I just don't think I want to pay too much attention to anything that he says. Okay, left is danger. Right is that locked door that we saw earlier. Always handy to open those when you get the chance. Get some more upgrades. A mod that makes the dodge cheaper, which is good if you use it a lot. And a way back to that level 2 door. This should be where that document I was looking for is. I got a mod for the spin, even though I haven't made it yet. And I see no documents in here. Alright, I guess it must be somewhere else. Anyway, I could move on, but I want to head back and take advantage of some of these upgrades I've got, particularly the ability points. But I gotta make my way back through ventilation first. Just want to stay out of sight, guard both staircases as best I can. Got some shield guys coming, so launch is going to get a workout. Maybe I made it too strong. Normally you would just knock out their shields at this point, and then you have to finish them off with a gun. Well, that seems to be it. I want to make sure I don't miss any upgrade materials they might have dropped. Didn't notice this room before, but it doesn't seem to have anything in it. Alright, back to the control point. And all the health that the enemies dropped when I first fought in here is still there. Okay, I have no idea why that took so long to load, but I'm definitely going for this first. Being able to launch grenades back at the enemies is wonderful. And if I upgrade it again, I can actually launch enemies at enemies. I'm going to take melee damage, because I took the countermeasure to do melee. And I still don't have enough to upgrade anything. Alright, I'll get to it eventually. So, one last run across this room. Fortunately, I think all the enemies are used up by now. And on to the power plant.
Okay, so what happens again if that thing blows up?
Power. Explosion. Too much. Director's duty. Keep the lights on.
Yeah, so now that we have the hotline, I could just listen to the full message right now. But I'm going to leave it to the end and just point out that the excerpts that we got from that message, while relevant to our current situation, really don't cover the content of the actual message at all. Well, unfortunately, Rish, I've already done all of those things. Guess you should have said Simon Says. I admitted that was bad. But the power plant is just around the corner, so let's get over there.
It's dangerous out here, lady. Go see Chief Arishi. He's just inside. He'll help you.
There is a control point up there, and I'm running low on time, but...
Ma'am! Hey! Chief Arish, FBC Security. Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Yeah, I better check in with this guy first. Hey, quit moving while I'm trying to talk to you.
They all have HRAs. We're on the same side.
My name is Jesse Faden. I'm here to perform the Directorial Override to get the lockdown lifted.
Yeah, Chief Arish, FBC Security. I'm just... Oh, hang on, you're the new director. It's a pleasure, ma'am.
Let's skip the formalities, please.
Right. Faden, ma'am. Look, as you can probably tell, it's a bit of a shit show down here. We've been holding our ground, but whatever's gotten into our buddies has them wrecking the coolant pumps and the power converters. The NSC keeps overheating, and my crews keep getting shot before they have a chance to make any repairs.
NSC?
Oh, sorry. Bureau jargon. It's what we call the power plant. You know, the big rumbling metal thing? Salvador, head of security, asked me to protect it in case of an attack. See, what's inside is dangerous. Dr. Darling seemed to know it would be a target.
Darling? He's here?
No, he came down a few days ago, before everything went to hell. He was out of it. Smelled like a bar mat. He was ranting about vulnerabilities and how he only had one large-scale HRA, but that he needed it somewhere else. Still, at least he gave us these personal HRAs before he left. Hey, did I mention that he was tearing his clothes off? Crazy dude.
Darling knew the hiss was coming.
Listen, I love playing 20 questions as much as the next guy, but we have got to get the water and electrical systems repaired before this baby blows. I'll have my guys unlock the doors out of here for you.
I'll take care of it. You stay and keep the hiss away from the plant if you can.
The hiss? That's what we're calling him? Oh, that's catchy. Oh, listen, the radios aren't working, so if you find my boss Salvador out there, could you please ask him what the plan is? I'm sure he will have one by now.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
He sure has a lot of faith in his boss.
Try to stay alive.
And I do want to talk to him more, but here's a document.
What's your read on all this?
There is a lot to unpack in this letter. So I won't.
Energy conversion is well below the acceptable percentage. Internal pressure is climbing so fast, I'm amazed the NSC is still holding. When it blows, we're all going with it.
Oh, thanks, Frank. Real positive.
Yep, that's right. Things sound pretty bad. But there's always time to pick up more upgrade materials. Let's find out what else Simon has to say.
When the converters and coolant pumps are working again, we should be able to get this baby back down to a safe temperature. I hope.
What do you know about the hiss?
Not much, only what I've seen. Well, they use the same tactics that Marshall and Salvador taught us, which makes me think that the hiss haven't completely erased the people inside, which is a pretty fucking horrible thought. Or they're just using whatever they find in their victims' heads. In any case, they are really eager to get inside the power plant.
Why do you think that is?
Shit, I don't know. They want to make my life harder?
What do you do here, Arish?
Security chief of the maintenance sector. I make sure all the weird shit down here doesn't bother the maintenance crews. Learned everything I know from Salvador. The best security agent this bureau has ever seen.
And you like your job?
I love it. You know, everyone thinks that maintenance is the lowest rung on the ladder just because we fix pipes instead of writing memos, but I gotta be honest. These are the bravest people in the goddamn building. I'm proud to work with them.
I've done a few odd jobs with these kind of folks. They say what they mean. I like that.
What exactly is the power plant?
Listen, I only know what Salvador told me, but I know it generates all the electricity for the Bureau, and it's got two very simple rules. Rule 1, keep it below a certain temperature. Rule 2, don't ever, ever open it. Oh, and 3, it's classified, so I shouldn't ask.
Sounds like secrets are standard operating procedure around here.
Oh, yeah. It's all part of the job.
What do you know about the service weapon?
Not much. That thing is director only. Salvador told me by the time he saw Trench use it. Sounds like that gun can do some serious damage. Yeah, I did see pictures of it once, though, and it looks different to that thing you're carrying. You modded or something? It's new.
Is new a good thing?
Given the circumstances, I'd say new is our best bet.
Do you know this Ahti guy?
Of course. He's my favorite coffee break buddy. Dude has got some crazy stories. He probably knows more than anyone else around here, if you can make sense of what he's saying.
Any idea where he's from?
I'm guessing Sweden.
He's from where he's from. Look, there are just some stones that are better left unturned, you know?
I should be going.
Right. You got a lockdown to lift.
Yeah, it seems like the sound just gets out of sync sometimes during the dialogue. Maybe the recording is bad, I can't tell. But that ate up a lot of time, so I'm just heading to the control point and finishing the video for now. So let's see what we've got. Did pick up a bunch of new mods, a couple of new materials. I've never been able to distinguish the symbols. Got our missions, and the collectibles are where the real interest lies. Yeah, we get a document for each object of power we get, so this is the one for the merry-go-round horse. I don't know what most of those redactions are, honestly. And no, I'm not rewatching Threshold Kids, but I do want to watch the Hotline video.
Ring, ring. It's Dr. Darling calling. In 1978, a comms department intern heard the hotline ring and picked it up, going against every safety protocol in the manual. She never recovered, and the handful of witnesses required extensive memory repression therapy. It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well. Our very own Ouija board. Only the director can answer it safely, and what he hears is kept classified.
And as for what we hear, here are Trench's thoughts on former director Northmore.
Northmore was director before me. I never wanted his job. I never wanted power. I purposefully avoided it, didn't trust it, didn't want to rely on it. Northmore was all about power. A man like an explosion, hungry for authority, for order, for more, until it was too much. I had to find a solution in the end, contain the situation. Northmore never liked me, but he went along with it, to his credit. He didn't really have a choice. I suppose at the end of the day, a director's most basic duty is to keep the lights on. Here's to you, Northmore. There were no prime candidates waiting in the wings, but I was there. Had been the whole time, keeping my head down, working my ass off. I had nothing to lose. I picked up the gun almost on a dare.
So that's how Trench came to be director. And in our role as director, we'll start fixing up the NSC power plant next time. And upgrade our weapons. See you then.